I shouldn't trust Lara? Why not? Aiden asked Cyrus. Cyrus was pacing back and forth, with his hands clasped behind his back in an empty office on the top floor of the SafeTech building. Just trust me on this. She's a wily one. Just when you think you've got her figured out, turns out she's actually 2 steps ahead of you. Aiden folded his arms. So we've got Lara and possibly Dominic showing up at this auction later today, and I can't trust either of them? Should be interesting. To say the least, Cyrus nodded. Besides, you'll meet her soon enough and you can learn for yourself. Now, get your work done. You've got an auction to go to. After his conversation with Cyrus, the day went by in a blur. Aiden could barely focus on his work. He was slowly getting up to speed on SafeTech, but all he could think about was Ava. How am I ever going to make it up to her? He wondered. I know. Her birthday's coming up soon. Maybe I can find something for her at the auction that she'll like. As soon as he landed on the idea, 2 of Cyrus's men knocked on the door to Aiden's office. Time to go, said a tall and imposing bald man with a thick mustache. We haven't been introduced yet. I'm Santiago. This is my partner Carter. He gestured to the other man, who was a good deal shorter with a thick head of long hair. We'll be detailing you at the auction today, Santiago explained in a low voice. Aiden could see the bulging outlines of several guns inside Santiago's suit coat. He stood up and leaned over his desk. Thanks, but I don't need a babysitter. Santiago shook his head. Sorry, sir. Cyrus's orders. It's for the best. Aiden scoffed. I'm the one who's supposed to give the orders around here, he thought. This whole keeping my identity a secret thing is starting to wear thin. Fine, you can tag along. For today at least. Aiden finished gathering his things, then pulled a bottle of cologne out of his desk drawer. Better make a good impression on this Lara person. I wonder if she's all she's cracked up to be. He spritzed some cologne on his neck. All right, I'm ready. Let's go. Santiago nodded, and Aiden departed SafeTech with his new security detail in tow.
Going once? Going twice? Sold for $50,000.
Aiden sat in a large, opulent auction hall. At the front of the room stood an auctioneer, rotating through a series of priceless objects for the obscenely wealthy crowd. Aiden leaned over and whispered to Santiago. Where's Lara? I don't know what she looks like. Do you see her? Santiago's eyes scanned the room, then he pointed. There. She's sitting in the 3rd row, just next to the column. Aiden followed Santiago's gaze. Sure enough, just a few rows ahead of them, Aiden spotted an incredibly attractive woman, with shoulder-length dark hair and green eyes barely visible above the rims of her designer shades. So that's her then. Santiago nodded. The auctioneer called everyone's attention to the front of the room.
Our next item is a diamond necklace. It's said to have been owned at one time by the Ottoman royal family. Shall we start the bidding at $10,000?
Aiden's eyes glimmered at the diamond necklace. That would be perfect for Ava. Without wasting a second, Aiden raised his paddle. 10,000.
The auctioneer gestured to Aiden. Wonderful, 10,000. Do I hear 15?
Lara raised her paddle. 15,000.
The auctioneer smiled. Splendid. Do I hear 20,000?
Aiden glanced over in Lara's direction. Much to his surprise, he could see that everyone else in the auction room had no intention of bidding against her. Her presence was formidable. Everyone's as afraid of her as they are of Dominic, Aiden thought. Good thing I'm not. He raised his paddle again. 20,000. A quiet gasp ran through the crowd. Lara turned her head, lowering her shades just enough to make eye contact with Aiden. She smirked, a wicked glint in her eye. Santiago tapped Aiden's shoulder. Sir, I wouldn't recommend going up against her. Cyrus doesn't want you to make a scene. Aiden squinted at Santiago. I told you I don't need a babysitter. Lara raised her paddle again. 25,000. Aiden bid again. 30,000. Lara turned to face Aiden again. This time, she wasn't smiling. He could see her mouth the words, "Back off." Aiden just smirked in reply. Lara raised her paddle. 50,000. Aiden scoffed, facing the auctioneer. $100,000. Does that settle it? The entire crowd gasped. Lara stared daggers at Aiden. She lowered her paddle, shaking her head no at the auctioneer. The auctioneer stammered.
Very well. $100,000 to Mr. Callahan, going once, going twice, sold.
After the auction, many guests lingered in the hallway, sipping on champagne and gossiping. Aiden lurked in the corner with Santiago and Carter, taking in the scene. No sign of Dominic so far, Aiden thought to himself. Then suddenly, he saw Lara making a beeline for the exit. On an impulse, Aiden raced after her, blocking her path. Sorry, it's Lara, isn't it? Lara lowered her sunglasses. Her emerald green eyes sparkled at him. Only my friends call me Lara. It's Miss Ashburn to you. As he stared into her eyes, Aiden realized something. Wait a minute. This girl looks familiar to me. I feel like I know her. He reached out to shake her hand. Actually, in that case, I prefer to call you Lara then. I'm Aiden. Lara's eyes flashed dangerously. No one speaks to me like that and gets away with it. Aiden smirked. You know, you only get more beautiful when you're angry. He leaned in close and whispered into her ear. Don't you recognize me? I recognize you. Naomi. Lara pulled back from Aiden, putting a hand over her mouth. Aiden? Aiden Gibson. The auctioneer said Callahan. Yes, it's me. It's a long story. Oh my God, I can't believe it's really you. Lara's scowl turned into a smile. But Aiden, what are you doing here? Shh. He tried to quiet Lara down. Don't blow my cover. I won't if you won't. Lara chuckled. Nobody's called me Naomi in decades. Suddenly, 2 hired security guards raced over to Lara and Aiden. Ma'am, is everything okay? Is this guy bothering you? They asked Lara. Lara waved them off. No, everything's fine. You can leave us. The 2 guards trotted away. Aiden smiled at Lara. Can we speak privately for a moment? She nodded. The 2 of them snuck away from Santiago and Carter, hiding in the shadows in the corner of the hall. Lara hugged Aiden tightly. What are you doing here? If I tell you, can you keep a secret? Lara nodded. Of course. We've known each other since we were kids, Aiden. You were my first crush. You know you can trust me with anything. Aiden placed his hand on her shoulder, whispering into her ear. I'm here to meet you. Cyrus sent me. I'm the tiger. Lara gasped. You're the tiger? She threw her head back and laughed. I guess I shouldn't be giving you orders. I can't believe I work for you now. She reached into her clutch, pulled out a business card, and slipped it into Aiden's pocket. We've got a lot of catching up to do. Call me, if you're brave enough. With that, she tossed her hair in his direction, turned on her heel, and strutted out of the auction hall. Aiden felt the hairs on the back of his neck stand on end. Santiago and Carter approached, carrying a box with the diamond necklace Aiden had purchased. Santiago checked his watch. Shall we go, sir? Aiden nodded. Yeah. Any sign of Dominic? Santiago shook his head. No, sir. Aiden exhaled, disappointed. Right. Okay, let's head out. As Santiago and Carter drove Aiden back to SafeTech, Aiden spotted Ava and Charlotte walking down a street lined with shops. You can drop me off here, he told Santiago. Keep that necklace safe for me. I'll collect it from Cyrus tomorrow. Santiago nodded. Yes, sir. Aiden jumped out of the car and crossed the street to meet up with Ava and Charlotte, who were coming out of a storefront together. As they saw him approaching, Charlotte smiled, but Ava scowled.
Aiden? What are you doing here?
Charlotte clapped her hands together in delight.
Yeah, what the hell are you doing here?
Ava said, folding her arms over her chest. Aiden smiled.
I was driving by and saw you two walking together. Do you mind if I join you?
Ava huffed.
Don't even think about it.
Charlotte furrowed her brow.
Ava, don't you think you're being a little cold? I mean, he is your husband after all. No, he's not, Charlotte. Not anymore.
Ava put her sunglasses on, putting even more distance between her and Aiden.
Oh, I see. Well, in that case, if you two aren't together anymore, do you mind if I take him for a spin?
Charlotte asked, with a mischievous glint in her eye. Aiden smirked at Charlotte flirtatiously, and Charlotte smiled right back at him. Ava lowered her sunglasses, fuming. Was Dominic Grayson at the auction? Will Aiden and Lara rekindle their old flame? Or will things heat up between Aiden and Charlotte?
If he's not your husband anymore, mind if I take him for a spin?
Charlotte tossed her hair flirtatiously. Aiden was standing on the street with Ava and Charlotte. He had asked them if he could tag along for the afternoon, but Ava had turned him down. That is, until Charlotte started flirting with him. Aiden smiled at Charlotte.
Yeah, if you're busy, Ava, I can just go with Charlotte.
Ava's face grew completely flushed. She blinked up at them and bit her lip, unsure of what to say. Finally, she sighed.
Okay, fine, Aiden. You can spend the afternoon with us. We're just gonna head downtown for a bit and do some more shopping.
Aiden smirked, happy to see Ava jealous for a change.
Sounds great to me.
With that, the trio continued walking down the street, peering into various shop windows as they went. Charlotte ran her fingers across Aiden's suit jacket.
Aiden, is this a Shaw Industries suit? It looks great on you.
Ava grew flustered.
Shaw Industries? How can you afford Cyrus's clothing label?
I got an advance at my new job, Aiden bragged, smoothing out an imaginary wrinkle on his pressed suit. Charlotte cocked her head.
Where do you work again?
I'm at SafeTech right now, senior management. Security is a real goldmine these days. Ava's jaw dropped.
Wow, SafeTech? That's really impressive. You have to be a real genius to be a manager at a place like that,
Charlotte exclaimed. Aiden turned to Ava.
See, sweetheart? It's not so bad being married to me, right?
She rolled her eyes and said nothing. Aiden noticed Charlotte unbutton the top button of her blouse out of the corner of his eye.
Well, Aiden, fancy suit or not, I think you look great lately. Don't you think so, Ava?
Ava muttered under her breath.
Sure, whatever.
They climbed into Ava's car, which was parked at a meter just down the street. Aiden sat in the back seat, Ava drove, and Charlotte sat next to her up front. Though the two women were whispering to one another, Aiden could just barely make out what they were saying.
What's gotten into you? Can you stop flirting with my husband, please?
Ava's voice was laced with venom. Charlotte snickered.
I thought you said he wasn't your husband.
Ava glanced back over her shoulder at Aiden, a frustrated look on her face.
Ava, look out!
Charlotte screamed, pointing ahead through the windshield. While Ava was distracted looking at Aiden, she had accidentally driven onto the wrong side of the road. Ava slammed on the brakes hard. The car speeding in their direction also slammed on their brakes, turning out onto the sidewalk, forcing some passerby to jump out of the way. The two cars barely avoided a collision.
That was close.
Ava exhaled sharply. Charlotte's face turned pale as four brutish-looking men stepped out of the car that Ava almost hit.
It's not over yet,
she muttered under her breath. Ava looked over at Charlotte with a panicked expression.
What is it, Charlotte? Who are those guys?
Charlotte's breathing was shallow.
That's Isaac. He works for Dominic Grayson, the mobster.
Aiden looked confused.
How do you know what Dominic Grayson's men look like?
Charlotte didn't reply. Isaac approached Ava's car, slamming his fist on the hood.
Hey, why don't you watch where you're going?
Charlotte got out of the car, confronting him.
What do you want, Isaac?
Aiden and Ava stepped out of the car too, as Isaac and his men approached, glowering at them. Isaac snickered.
Well, well, well. What do we have here? What are you two fine ladies doing tonight?
Isaac and his men were leering at Charlotte and Ava, ignoring Aiden's presence completely. As the men closed in, Ava trembled.
Back off, okay? I said back off!
But none of the men showed any signs of slowing down. Aiden felt his hands curling up into fists. Wait a minute. I remember this guy, Aiden thought. Where do I know him from? Suddenly, Isaac's eyes met Aiden's. A flash of recognition crossed his face. He pointed at Aiden, a snarl on his lips.
You're the guy who attacked us outside of Club Kane. You killed our friend, Peter.
I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't kill anyone, Aiden protested.
Well, you broke his leg and knocked him unconscious. Remember that? Poor bastard couldn't make it to the hospital in time. He bled out in the street. We're gonna make you pay for what you did, you prick.
Aiden blinked. Oh no. This won't be good. Suddenly, one of the men grabbed Ava. As soon as she felt his brutish hands on her, she fainted. Ava! Aiden reached for her, but the man pulled her away. Charlotte screamed and ran behind Ava's car. Stay there, Charlotte. I'll handle this, Aiden shouted. Isaac cracked his knuckles. I've been looking forward to round 2. Sorry to disappoint you, Isaac. It's gonna be a pretty quick match, Aiden spat. Aiden charged toward Isaac, but before he could reach him, one of Isaac's men dropped Ava and elbowed Aiden in the head. Aiden fell back onto the hood of the car. Isaac laughed. You're right. It will be a short match. For you. Aiden rolled off the car hood back onto the ground in a fighting stance. He landed some quick punches to the guy who had elbowed him, knocking him unconscious. Isaac growled, snapping his fingers. 2 other thugs raced at Aiden, carrying lead pipes. This is for Peter. The first of the thugs swung the pipe at Aiden's head. Aiden grabbed the pipe out of the man's hand, then dropped to the ground, striking the pipe against the thug's legs, breaking both of his kneecaps. The thug fell to the ground, clutching his legs in agony. Aiden reeled around just as the second thug swung his pipe down at Aiden, but Aiden blocked it with his own. Aiden and the thug used the pipes like swords, clanging them against each other, both unable to find purchase on their opponent. Then Aiden swung his pipe at the other thug with tremendous force, leaving a huge dent in the weapon. It bent wildly out of shape. The thug's eyes went wide. Seizing his opportunity, Aiden followed up with a quick swing of his pipe, striking the thug's head. The thug spun around, knocked out cold. He landed on the ground with a thud, next to the others in Isaac's crew, unconscious and incapacitated. Fine. I guess I have to deal with you myself, Isaac sneered. He pulled a gun out of his holster and began firing shots at Aiden. As soon as he saw Isaac reach for the gun, Aiden dove for cover behind Ava's car. He spotted Charlotte crouched there as well. Ava was passed out next to her. Stay down. I've got this, Aiden whispered to her. Charlotte nodded. Come out, you little shit, or your girlfriend gets a bullet square in the head, Isaac called out. Aiden looked down at the pipe still in his hand and realized what he had to do. As Isaac reloaded his gun, Aiden tucked and rolled around the trunk of the car and ran up to Isaac. He used the pipe to smash Isaac's knuckles, knocking the gun out of his hand. It flew into the air, and Aiden caught it with his free hand. Aiden pointed the gun at Isaac, who was clutching his broken and bloody knuckles. Sorry, Isaac. Looks like you're the one who'll be getting a bullet to the head today. One of Isaac's thugs stirred on the ground at the sound of sirens approaching in the distance. Shit, boss! It's the cops! Let's go! Isaac immediately panicked and ran for his car. Aiden had Isaac locked in his sights, but after a moment, he put the gun down and holstered it in his jacket. I'll let them live.
This time.
As Isaac dragged his unconscious thugs into the car, he pointed at Aiden.
This isn't the end, you little... Dominic Grayson is coming for you.
As soon as Isaac and his men sped off, Aiden raced back to Ava, who was still unconscious as approaching police sirens blared. Charlotte felt Ava's pulse.
She's just passed out, but we need to get her to a hospital. She hit her head pretty hard when that thug dropped her.
Aiden reached his hands behind Ava's head.
She's bleeding.
His pulse quickened. Charlotte's breathing was shaky.
We gotta get her out of here. Plus, if the cops find me, they might not take my side.
Aiden didn't need anyone asking him too many questions, especially not the police. Charlotte nodded.
Let's go.
Aiden wrapped Ava's limp arm around his shoulder.
We've got to hurry, he thought. If we don't get Ava to a doctor soon, she could die.
Will Aiden and Charlotte get Ava to a hospital in time? Why did Charlotte recognize Isaac so quickly? And what else is she hiding? And with Dominic Grayson now aware of Aiden's identity, how long until the next attack?
Wait, that's not the end. You've just had a free taste. Now get the full story on the Pocket FM app, link in description. Check out our next video and playlist, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.